sa Pilipino, walang fake news, walang sinasanto, laban sa korap, laban sa abuso, para sa katotohanan. Pinoy Insight, boses ng Pilipino.
Interior and the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. I have to share difficult news, mga kababayan. Czech authorities have informed us that Mr. Saldico is no longer in their custody. From the moment we received information on his whereabouts, the Philippine government moved as quickly as we could. We coordinated with international authorities and the President dispatched this mission to Prague. But we are working across sovereign borders. Every country has its own laws, processes, and timelines. And we cannot compel a foreign government to act outside its legal framework. What we can do is work within those frameworks as aggressively as the law allows. We already filed our application in November with the Interpol Secretariat for a red notice against Mr. Ko, and we are awaiting Interpol's evaluation. Once issued, the red notice would enable any member country to detain and return him through extradition or deportation. Both governments, the Czech government and the Philippine government, have also agreed to begin formal negotiations on a mutual legal assistance treaty, an extradition treaty, and a transfer of sentenced persons agreement. The Czech Republic has reaffirmed its commitment to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, as has the Philippines. We respect the sovereignty of other nations and their legal processes. We will continue to pursue accountability through every legal channel available to us.
Sir, ask na si Saldico ngayon.
That information, what we can confirm is that he is within the Schengen area. That is the workable intel that we have.
Why can't we confirm where exactly in the Schengen area is Saldico?
Because that information was not relayed to us.
Where was his point of exit from the Czech Republic?
That was not relayed to us. Same information not relayed. We asked.
Why can't they give it to you?
They're citing Schengen rules and data privacy provisions.
Which states that
I cannot repeat that to you. But what they cited during in our conversation is they were pointing to a possible police cooperation agreement, which we don't have, which is currently ongoing negotiations between the Philippine government and the Czech Republic.
Was information given whether he traveled by land, by air, or by sea outside?
No further information.
Sir, can you just relate to us what really happened on April 16 at the border of Germany from Prague when the President announced that nahuli na si Ko?
I cannot
Ano
also...
yung sinabi sa inyo?
They confirmed, one, that during the time, no, he was under the jurisdiction of the Czech authorities and he was within the territory of the Czech Republic.
Why was he accosted?
What we surmise is that it would be on some immigration violation of some immigration entrant laws.
If we're going to go back to our press con last Friday, you mentioned that he is traveling using an expired passport.
Yeah, we got that information also.
So, it is an expired passport, not a cancelled passport?
No.
Why? It was reported in the Philippines by the Philippine government that the passport of Saldico has already been cancelled.
Yes, and apparently when we double check with records available to the Bureau of Immigration, Mr. Saldico was issued 3 passports. Okay, the one which he was carrying, the information that we got, it's the one that expired September 11, 2022.
Okay.
That was the one he was in possession with when he was accosted by the authorities. The two other passports, one is the official passport, I believe when he was congressman, and the other passport is the one cancelled by the Philippine courts.
So, sir, pwede yun? Tatlong passport?
Hindi po. Tandaan niyo po, tatlong passport, di ba pag passport tayo?
Hindi.
Pag nag-renew ka, di ba, September 22,
Yes,
di ba?
yes, okay. We understand. So, ibig sabihin,
Di ba pag-
hindi expired ng passport niya kasi napalitan na yung expired passport.
No, ang sinasabi, ang dala-dala niya, nung nahuli siya dito, nung nadala siya dito sa Czech Republic, was yung may expiry ng September 2022.
Okay,
So expired yun.
pero ang kinansela ng gobyerno is the current passport.
Yes.
Which expires when?
I don't have exactly
Based
the-
on our research, sir, ang kanyang pasaporte ay mag-expire ng 2032.
Oh, cancelled
So,
na.
cancelled na yun. Hindi
Cancelled.
po ba ibig sabihin na cancelled na rin lahat? Kapag
Cancel. Pero di ba pag nag-renew,
dahil
pag
expired
na-renew tayo, hawak pa rin natin yung passport. Di ba binubutasan lang nila?
So,
Tapos hawak natin yung expired passport
So yung
natin.
cancel, ano ang proof na halimbawa cancel yun? Meron ba nakatatak na cancel? O kumbaga parang yung binubutas para malaman na cancel ito?
Ang alam ko, personal experience, ha? Yung luma akong passport, binutasan ng DFA. Hindi ko na pwedeng gamitin
Yun yung expired.
Yun yung
Pag
expired.
cancel, ano ang palatandaan?
I need to check with the DFA authorities on this. Anong
When it's cancelled, all posts are notified, and we notify the authorities of the cancellation of that particular passport.
Sir, given this kind of logic, is it logical to say that he is traveling by land? Because if he is passing through airports, yung passports niya will be physically checked, unlike if he is aboard a car or a bus. Would that be
Yes, that's another workable intel we got, no? During this trip. Definitely he was traveling by land. We are also aware, we got information as to the registry of the vehicle. We also got information as to the driver.
Where is the vehicle registered, sir?
We cannot disclose that. It's an active operation. Okay, my apologies.
Who is the driver, sir? Is he a Filipino?
We cannot also disclose that. It's an active operation.
But
That
without,
relevant
sir,
information.
without naming names, is it the same person that you mentioned in the Manila press conference when you noted that he was traveling with a certain person? You just could not verify if that was a relative kasi pwedeng same surname sila pero not related to each other. Is it the same person?
It's not.
Sir, ano bang sinabi yung counterparts niyo bakit po nirelease?
We asked for that. We asked for that reason. They reiterated that he is no longer within the territory of the Czech Republic.
When did he leave the territory of the Czech Republic?
We also asked that when they did release, they said they can no longer furnish additional information.
Sir, but the last verified information that you got na Zaldico was still in Czech Republic was when?
The last information, before I left, pagdating ko rito, alam ko narito pa rin siya.
So that was Friday, sir.
Friday, yes.
Sir, ano yung mga countries na may land border with Czech Republic? Because if yung logic natin is nagka-travel siya by land, ano yung posibleng countries around Czech Republic na titignan natin kung saan siya may
I'll pass that to Ambassador.
There
Who will
are 4 countries with land borders to the Czech Republic. We have Germany, Austria, Poland, and Slovakia.
Germany, Austria, Poland, and Slovakia. Are we already in contact with our embassies and law enforcement authorities in these 4 countries?
That is an operation that I don't think we can share the info on this.
No, I mean, it's
At-
just
at the-
coordinating.
Yeah.
Hindi naman po operational po yun. Or have you been coordinating with those countries?
At the very least po, all listening posts na available po sa Philippine government have already been advised.
Sir, wala pa pong nagre-report from those 4 posts about a Zaldico sighting in their respective jurisdictions?
I have no information.
Sir, PCPC.
We got no information yet.
Sir, did you ask if he already filed or applied for a political asylum?
Hindi ko na natanong.
Why? Di ba magiging susunod na hakbang ninyo ang basehan kung ano yung legal na hakbang na rin po na ginagawa niya ngayon? Why did
Legal
you
na hakbang, why did
I mean,
you not ask? Teka, nagtanong kami, we pursue any additional information, and their reply was, we can no longer give you further information. Paano ka pa magtatanong?
How long did your meeting with the Ministry of Justice last?
Started around before 3 p.m. we're done. I think.
So it started at 2, exactly at 2, and then before 3, tapos na.
Opo.
Do you think you got a substantial information based on your meeting with your counterparts this afternoon?
Yes.
Pero ang daming tanong na hindi pa nasasagot. How can you say that it's substantial?
Because we have other sources, validated sources, which yung what I just discussed to you, yung mga workable, yung aming intel na na-enhance, basically. They're taking a position, I hope you understand, and we should respect that. When I tried to pry, without being arrogant or something, because it's a diplomatic way, di ba?
Of course.
Can you share with us, after confirming that he is no longer within the territory of the Czech Republic, politely ask, can you share further information? Okay. Their reply was, we can no longer share for additional information on the matter.
But sir, did they specify how long they held the custody of?
No such information, sir.
Sir, the day Malacanang said that there was no premature announcement ni President Vida regarding this announcement po niya na nahuli na po si Go. And last week, sabi po niya na hindi siya premature. And then now, wala po si Go. So, do you still take that stand na hindi po premature?
Hindi po premature. Because when our president made that announcement, that was the facts available na narito siya sa Czech Republic. Ano confirm namin ngayon? Diba? With definite moral certainty on what the Czech authorities told us, he is no longer in the Czech territory.
Sir, at the point when President Marcos was announcing it, and that's when the news broke, was there a prior attempt to reach out to Czech authorities just to explain who Mr. Soliko is and that he is criminally liable in the Philippines and that if the Czech state can possibly, did you
Yes.
ask before the president announced?
Yes, opo. Actually, there were verbal already representations, done by through channels, and immediately after, shortly after the announcement of the president, we officially made those representations through channels.
Perhaps could we take a question from the Zoom?
There's only one question on
Yeah,
Zoom right now.
let's read it.
From
It's a question on income. United Convention. United Nations Convention. Yeah. UNCAP Chapter 4, International Cooperation, may gumamit na po ba nito para maibalik sa bansa nila yung isang pugante na hinahabol nila na lumipat o nagtago sa ibang bansa. Pwede ba gamitin ng Pilipinas yan sa case ni Mr. Davico?
Actually, dun sa official communication natin, we raised that to the Czech authorities. We specifically mentions, and we basically invoke the obligatory provisions on the member states of the UNCAP.
Sir, again, this briefing was saying that it's a disappointing news, obviously. It must be
I disappointed for lack of further knowledge.
Yes, but are you disappointed also by the attitude of the Czech state? Because, of course, there's a certain gravity to the situation, and it feels like to them it didn't really matter much if Mr. Ko.
I do understand, they express that they do understand the gravity, the concern of the Filipino public, the concern of the Philippine government in bringing it back.
Especially this cabinet
Yes.
is priding itself on being anti-corruption, so
Yes, but when the Czech authorities, I would not say that my feeling is disappointment, but basically I'm confused at the legal parameters where this is coming from.
Were you also frustrated? Because you were expecting answers and the information that were given to you were very limited.
Frustrated? I would stick to confused.
Sir, ano po yung requirements ng Czech authorities for them to ease the limitations that they are imposing when it comes to data privacy?
Okay. So yan. Yun, doon umaba yung yung usapan. About the police cooperation agreement. It appears, no? And I would definitely conclude, yung mga kasama ko doon, they're directing us to firm up on the police cooperation agreement. Ang parang sinasabi nila, kung meron lang tayo nun.
And how soon can we draft that? Or at least finalize?
I need to go, when I go back to Manila, I need to coordinate further with the PNP and the DILG on the matter. But definitely we will make a comprehensive report to the President on this matter. And on that, the impression that I got, that would be a key part in this matter.
But there's an urgency to this whole situation.
Yes.
And then you will have to go back to the Philippines. You will still have to draft the whole cooperation agreement. And then how long will it take for us to be able to get this cooperation agreement completed and be able to get the Zaldi Po through that agreement? How long will it take?
Kaya nga, yung timeline na yan, diba, unpredictable. But we will do our best in pursuing that, no? Upon advice natin in coordination with the DFA and the Office of the President. But still, dun sa isa rin nilang highlight, the lack of an international arrest warrant, which
From
is
the
the red
Interpol.
notice.
So General Cristosa, Yusek, ano po ang magagawa natin? Total, sabi, meron na tayong mga dala-dalang additional documents that will complete the requirements needed for us to be able to get the red notice from the Interpol.
We have already sent it to the Secretariat at France, France, and we expect now with that, those amount voluminous talaga na documents which they need, we expect na they can eventually grant us.
We were able to complete the requirements. Ano po yung mga sinabit natin that you can divulge?
I cannot.
I mean, the cases from the Ombudsman, yung mga kinakaharap niya, does it include those cases that he is facing in the Sandigan Bayan, malversation and graft and corruption cases, na we have to emphasize to the Interpol that he is facing all these really big cases, crimes, and that a red notice is very much
if I
important
may
that
po,
it has to be
kasi
released.
ganito po yung naging parte ng proseso. Pag-assume po ni Yusek Cristosa, nag-review ng mga hindi nagalaw. And priority itong red notice na hindi pa bumabalik. Na sa kabila ng ating request noong November, hindi pa nabalik sa atin. No? Hindi pa ini-issue yung red notice. So, pinag-aralan saan yung mga successful na natin na red notice na nabigay. So, ginawa natin, di ba? Kasi wala namang formal communication from Interpol Secretariat na ito yung kulang, ito kulang. So, wala eh. So, ang ginawa natin, kinopya natin yung mga successful na folders natin, dinagdagan natin, nakipag-ugnayan kami sa NBI, nakipag-ugnayan kami nagtulong-tulong na kami. DOJ, yung mga lawyers ko sa DOJ, Office of the Ombudsman, pati yung records sa COA, no? Nalikom namin lahat naging official records, no? Nakuha natin yung mga official records, na ipaliwanag natin, nagawa tayo ng paliwanag tungkol dun sa mga kasong kinakaharap ng akusado, at naidikit rin natin na itong mga kasong ito ay kapareho ng mga kaso na laban sa korupsyon dito sa European Union. Kasi isa yun sa requirement. Kailangan may parallel, what's the technical term nun? Mutuality. Okay? Kailangan pinakap ng isang akusado ay pinaparusahan din dun sa bansa.
Obviously, pinaparusahan din ng corruption dito sa Czech.
Yeah, pero kailangan bangga yung elements. Sana ipaliwanag natin.
Sir, why wasn't this done in the first place when we applied in November? Bakit po ngayon lang natin na-figure out na marami pa po palang kulang when the ILG Secretary as well as the NTI Chief telling people as early as February, and I think another one said also in April, na they were expecting na malapit nang mailabas yung red notice. Headlines are everywhere saying that Interpol red notice against Zaldico will be out soon. Bakit po ngayon biglang kulang pa po pala? Bakit po hindi siya na-address as early as perhaps December, January?
Hindi ko masasabing tama yung term na kulang, no? But basically double pack tayo, no? So nag due diligence tayo dahil hindi nagalaw. Kasi ang pagkakaalam ko si Yusek Prestosa assume office April 13, no? So
Very fresh.
very fresh.
What loopholes do you see that need to be tightened?
Yan marami kaming i-report, di ba? Yung the whole of government approach rather than basically kasi yung ating PCTC which serves as the NCB, no, National Central Bureau for Manila Interpol, no? Kailangan nila ng dagdag na koordinasyon at tulong sa iba't iba pang ahensya. Tulad ngayon, no? Ang basic na kulang sila sa tao, kulang sila sa abogado, kulang sa ganon. Ngayon, ito ay nalantad, no? Lalo na sa kasong to. At may mga ways forward na kaming napag-usapan, ilalahad namin sa ating mahal na Pangulo para mas mapaganda natin. Para hindi na siya yung alam niyo yung hindi na dapat ito na ulit na parang special mission pag may hinahabol tayo. Dapat routinary at expected yung outcome at output na kayang i-deliver ng ating NCB Manila.
Secretary, sino ang nag-inform sa inyo nung April 16? Sino nag-inform sa Pilipinas na accosted or detained si Zaldico?
I am not privy to the information available to the
But you talked to
President.
the law enforcers last Saturday, di po ba? Yun yung sinasabi nyo na sila ang nagbigay sa inyo ng workable intelligence kung paano nangyari noong na-accost si
Okay,
Zaldico.
correction. Last Saturday, it was more on law enforcement activities na ginawa namin dito. We started looking and talking to possible sources that validated our available intel.
Kasi kaya ko to tinatanong, kung na-inform ang Pilipinas na na-accost siya, hindi po ba dapat na-inform din ang Pilipinas nung pinakawalan na siya? Nung when he was no longer detained? May
Sa
importansya kasi.
ating pag-uusap dapat. Pero nung tinanong ko nga sila kanina, if there is, can we seek other information, the answer was, they can no longer share further
Parang I would just
information.
like to clarify
Yeah.
kasi the President himself announced this.
Yes.
Sino yung napaka-credible source na nag-inform sa Philippine government for the President himself to announce this big story, this big breaking news? Sino ang nag-inform sa Pilipinas? Kanino natin nakuha yung information na yun?
Sorry, I'm at this point, I really don't know the direct sources of the President.
Okay, pero so when you mentioned a while ago na nung Friday when you arrived here in Czech Republic, ang alam nyo, nandito pa, detained pa rin si Zaldico. What was your basis in believing so?
We have listening posts, may mga kinakausap kami, but nothing official from the Czech authorities. That's why we waited for that meeting kanina.
So obviously, prior to the Friday, na napakawalan na pala siya? Kasi Saturday, posible bang mapakawalan ng weekend?
I cannot tell that. Kasi the information I got kanina, when we were asking further for additional information, they can no longer share further information.
There's some questions again from the...
Yes, sir. This is from Newswatch. Informed na po ba si President Marcos with his development? Disappointed ba siya or ang orders po niya?
Yes, he has been informed. As to the exact reaction of the President, I'm not privy. But definitely, a comprehensive report will be made to the President on this.
Sir,
One more questions?
Yes, sir. From Bobo Radyo. Would like to ask, sir, kung gaano po tayo katiwala na mahanap pa rin si Zaldico at maiuwi ng Pilipinas para iharap sa korte?
Mataas ang pagtitiwala ko.
Why?
why, sir?
Kasi cancel na nga yung passport niya.
Nakakaikot nga siya eh.
Do you have proof, sir, na cancel yung passport?
The DFA and the courts have confirmed that. And based on the protocols and procedures of a cancelled passport, of a duly cancelled passport pursuant to a court order, the embassies are duly informed as related by ambassador.
So all the countries in the European or the Schengen area have been informed also. Alam yun ng lahat.
Pero tingnan, ito, sandali lang ha, kailangan ka-akibat yung red notice.
They useless ang cancelled passport kung walang red notice.
Pero lumiliit yung iyong pagkakataon na pumiyahin. May difficulty nga lang. Kasi dito sa Schengen area, open border sila.
Sir, is there a way for you and for our authorities to track his movement? Sabi niyo po kasi nasa Schengen area lang siya. And then now that we know it, sabi niyo nga, cancel yung passport. But do we have any way to track his movement or any way to know? And sabi niyo po, open ang borders dito.
Yeah, the Philippine government is not without resources. Diba? That's why we get all this particular information.
But why does it seem so difficult for us to locate where he is? Kasi napaka-importante yung tanong, asan siya? If we have enough resources to track where he is, bakit kahit na sabihin na nating malaya siya ngayon, wala tayong paraan para talagang i-hold siya, at least for us to know where exactly is Zaldico?
Pag pinag-usapan ba natin ngayon, sinabi ko sa inyo na nasa Quiapo, di alis na siya sa Quiapo.
So you know.
Makakatulong ba sa atin? Sinabi ko sa inyo sa Schengen area.
Oo. So you know.
That's definitely what we know for a fact that he is in the Schengen.
Okay, if that is the reason, operational reasons for us to not divulge where exactly he is right now in the Schengen area, do you know where exactly in the Schengen area he is right now? At least yun man lang. Without saying, oh. At least kung alam nyo kung saan siya.
No, I cannot say that. Because I have no idea the exact area.
Secretary, you mentioned a while ago that the Czech authorities, the Ministry of Justice, has expressed their concern also, that they understand the urgency of this matter, of this situation. From their end po ba, right now, because of the urgency of this situation, apart from leading you to the cooperation agreement with their police, meron pa po ba silang ibang matutulong sa atin para mahanap talaga si Ko? Meron po ba silang ipinangako, assurance man lang, na okay, we cannot help you with this matter kasi wala kayong red notice, pero ito, pwede namin kayong tulungan. Meron po ba silang assurance na gano'n? Or talagang parang totally wala?
Meron din po kasi sila i-get na information doon sa counterparts nila doon sa ibang Schengen countries. So to help locate Ko.
Wala. In the discussions, there was none. I don't think so. Ambassador?
I think you need to take the perspective of the Czech government that has placed very high interest, or they really look at the rights of the individual. So it's not just what another government would wish, but also considering that Mr. Ko has rights as an individual, they are constrained from sharing certain information. So as far as future cooperation is concerned, I think this will be a matter of further discussion, and if we are able to quietly work with our partners within the Schengen area, I think, and as was explained earlier, he is traveling on an expired passport.
Okay.
So how far can we get on an expired passport?
Sir, what penalties are in place when he uses his expired travel documents here in the Schengen area?
Well, obviously the Germans did not allow him to go in.
So he's not in Germany, at least we rule that out.
Out of the four. Out of the four.
Well, you also have to understand that there are many borders within the EU. Some of them have checkpoints, many of them also do not have checkpoints. So it was perhaps pure chance that he was stopped.
Sir, okay. For the record, ano po kaya ang difference kung before he was stopped at the border, meron ng red notice para sa kanya? Ay, okay. Meron ng red notice sa kanya.
Kung may red notice, that serves as arrest warrant. So the obligation now of the 196 member countries of Interpol is to detain the person.
So may malaking kakulangan tayo dahil hindi natin naisumite ang lahat-lahat para makuha yung red notice na kinakailangan natin. Do we admit at the very least that there was also some fault on our end?
Hindi ho, kasi may proseso ang Interpol kung kailan at paano nila ini-issue ang red notice.
Yes, but may kulang pa po tayo, kaya how can they issue something when we still lack some requirements?
Actually, yung sinasabi yung lack, that's a presumption you are saying.
Sir, you mentioned that term last Friday.
Yes.
Na may kulang na dokumento pa po tayo, na dala-dala na ng PCS.
Okay, yung sinasabing kulang na yon, pinag-aralan natin nga kung ano yung sa mga successful na folder tayo, inulit natin. Wala naman nagsabing kulang.
But you mentioned kasi
Yes. Walang, okay. Walang nagsabing kulang.
There's a transcript of
No problem about that. Of course, di ba? Minabuti natin na sa pag-aaral natin, kumpletuhin na natin to, di ba?
Hindi to
kukumpletuhin. Tama ka doon. Pero pag tinignan natin, di ba? Ito yung mga nasa ibang folder na successful. So inulit natin, pinatibay natin, nag-coordinate tayo, nagkuha tayo ng mga official documents from the COA, from the Ombudsman, even from the Sandigan Bayan.
At the very least, ano yung dokumentong yun na hindi natin naisumite dati? At wala pong magpagsisisi on our end na ito na ho, nandito na siya. Munti ka na natin siyang nakuha.
Yeah, if you look at it, di ba, always after the fact, di ba, what could have been, what would be better, di ba? Pero pag tinignan natin, di ba, ginagawa po ng iba't ibang naririto, lahat ng kasali dito, ang lahat ng magagawa para maayos. No?
Were you able to see a photo or video of Go when he was stopped at the border?
No.
Walang pinurvive na ganun.
Sir, just on the Interpol, aren't he placing too much hope? Aren't he pinning too much hope on the Interpol red notice? Because under Interpol rules, while they release a red notice, the state parties are not obliged to arrest them. The state parties would always have the prerogative on whether or not they would enforce that red notice. What is our plan B if a state party with the Interpol does not want to implement that red notice?
International obligation.
Anong possible? Hindi naman nun natin pwede papuntahin ng pulis natin doon. Diba? At manghuli, magdampot. Hindi naman nun yung kinikilala na alternative. Diba? Ang ano dito is that's why we explore for other bilateral or multilateral agreements and we invoke particular provisions on the matter.
When will this matter be elevated to the level of the head of state? Because as far as ministerial level is concerned, the Czech Republic is still quite flat, despite the Philippines sending a high-level delegation here. When is the time to elevate it to the president, to the level of the president?
I cannot answer that because I will not be aware on.
Shall we take one last question from
Yeah.
From Zoom, perhaps
Zoom?
this time, sir. So the last question, this is from Inquirer. Goes back to traveling by land. You confirmed, sir, he is traveling by land and you have the vehicle registry. Have we shared this specific vehicle information with the border police of Germany, Austria, Poland, and Slovakia? Or are we legally barred from doing so without an active extradition treaty?
On those authorities we have not shared, but we know that yung registry ng kanyang vehicle na ginamit at information as to the driver.
Sir, last na po na ito, the vehicle lang. Gaano po pwede natin panghawakan yung vehicle? Is it his? Because as far as I know, he can rent. He can easily abandon that vehicle. Wouldn't that lead to a dead end? Ano pa po yung ibang aspects of that active operation that you are looking at? Because the vehicle, I feel he could abandon it even if it is his.
Totoo yan. Diba? Totoo yan. That's why this is not an easy task. Diba? This is not an easy task. Baka yung mga kababayan nating Pilipino na narito sa Schengen area, if you can relay some relevant information, no?
Sir, it seems na salary ko is free. And he has a lot of options. Kumbaga, when he started in Friday, you mentioned na ang goal natin is palitin yung mundong ginagalawan niya, in your own words. But
Yes.
clearly that's not happening because of all the rules in place in the European Union.
What is his status right now? Is he free? Or does he need to show up whenever an administrative court calls for him? In that case, is he still detained technically?
The exact information, he is no longer within the territory of the Czech Republic.
So he's free.
Can you say he's free?
He is not within the Czech Republic.
So he is
So
free.
he's free.
He is not detained.
He is not detained, so he is free.
Yes?
Yes, he is free. So ibig sabihin lang, sir, kaya namin i-clarify. Pag sinabi mo kasing technically detained, he can still move around, but if an administrative court calls for him, he needs to show up. Di ba may mga ganyan tayo na mga batas?
Mga parol.
Pwede kang, yung mga on parole, pwede kang humarap. Pwede kang mahalaya temporarily, but when the court calls for you, you have to show up. In this particular case, ipatatawag pa ba siya at some point because of the immigration violation that he committed? Or nakapag-bail na siya?
Wala kaming
What was the basis for his freedom?
Again, di ba, nung nagtanong kami kung may dagdag pa bang silang ma-share na information, they said, no, wala na kami ma-share na information.
Technically po ba, was he arrested and then detained? Was he arrested initially and then detained? Or ano lang, accosted lang dahil meron lang siyang violation administratively?
Exactly, the nature of the, we don't know the exact nature, di ba? So yung sinasabi nyo na eto na naman tayo, di ba? We're going to the technical, arrested ba siya, detained ba siya, accosted ba siya? Ang maliwanag na impormasyon na kinumpirma, di ba? At during April 16, di ba? The President made the announcement. He was within the territory of the Czech Republic and he was under their jurisdiction.
Sir, in hindsight, the issue blew up because the president made an announcement. But later on, we found out that the information was not verified, or at least changed in the nature. Would it not be more in hindsight, sir, hindi po ba dapat mas mauna yung pagpunta niyo dito to confirm kung ano po ba yung status niya before that announcement coming from the President?
Okay, this will be the last question.
Hindi.
One last from me.
Hindi rin. Batid naman natin lahat nung pagnanasa natin na malaman yung impormasyon.
Yes, we understand.
At pag may nakarating na gano'n, diba? Pag may nakarating, kung sakaling sa ako man, kung sa akin nakarating yon, magre-press con din ako.
Yes, yes.
Kasi karapatan ng mamamayan na malaman na nandun siya sa Czech Republic. Diba? Kaya nung nag-announce ang ating mahal na Pangulo, tama yung ginawa ng mahal na Pangulo dahil yan ay base sa tunay at na nangyari.
Okay,
Diba?
so you mentioned, sir, that you're not going home empty-handed. Ano ang iuuwi nyo sa Pilipinas?
Anong iuwi sa Pilipinas?
Na mahalagang bagay kaugnay ni Zaldico.
Yung ano namin, yung actionable intel, definitely. That will add, we'll pass it on to, actually, I'll relay it to Yusek Prestosa already on matters how to expand further yung mga bagay-bagay na yun because that's a law enforcement matter. And then second, ano yung mga nakita natin dito na yung pangangailangan ng red notice, napakahalaga. Tapos kung paano rin makaka-secure ng red notice ng mas mabilis, mas madali, mas epektibo na pamamaraan, di ba? Tapos yung kahalagahan ng ating police cooperation agreement.
Gaano kayo?
Na dapat natin winawaglit, yung mga ganong agreement, dapat hindi pa natin kailangan, iginagayak na natin.
Yes. Gaano kayo kakumpiyansa na maibabalik pa sa Pilipinas si Zaldico at mangyayari ba yon this year?
Yung mangyayari this year, hindi ko masasagot because maraming factors na involved. Kung may babalik ba siya sa Pilipinas para maharap ang mga kasong siya'y kinakaharap at siya'y nasasakdal, opo. Mataas ang kumpiyansa, 99%.
Why not 100?
Because he leaves something to chance. Diba? He leaves something to chance. That's why we do everything as much as we do. That's why nagdadasal din tayo, di ba? At humingi tayo ng tulong sa kanya, di ba? At sa dulo nitong lahat, di ba? Sa mga kababayan ko, di ba? Iisa ho yung atikain natin, iisa ho yung pananaw natin. Salamat ho at nalalaman niyo itong mga impormasyon na to. Pero ang nais ko lang hong ikumpirma sa inyong lahat. Katuwang niyo ho ang inyong Department of Justice. Katuwang niyo si Secretary Vida. Katuwang niyo si Attorney Dennis Chan, si Yusek Prestosa. Sa taaso ng ating pagnanasa na siya ay mapaharap sa kaso dapat. Dahil kasalanan po sa bayan yung nangyaring korupsyon. Diba? So, yung pagnanasang to, pero sa tingin ko pa rin ho, diba? Sa kabila ng ating ginagawa, huwag tayong makalimot kay Lord. Diba? Pag yun na ho ang kumilos, naaayos po lang.
Circulate pa yung video ng April 30, So,
yes, the plan is by April 30 I'll already be in Manila.
in Manila, sir.
So when are you leaving Czech Republic in particular?
Tomorrow.
Why, sir? Towards where?
I'm going to the Rome. I'm going to Rome,
For
actually.
what, sir?
Or what is
Ito yung ano naman, ito yung napakahalaga rin. The DOJ, at least a contingent of the DOJ, is preparing for the International Conference for Safeguarding of women, children, and other vulnerable adults. This is a forum, no, initiated together with our good Cardinal, no, Cardinal Tagle. Napakalaga ding usapin ito na tinututukan natin sa DOJ.
Sir, major blow po ba sa corruption efforts natin, anti-corruption efforts na hindi po may umisi o wala po tayo may uminsan dito sa Pilipinas?
Let's look at this. Sabi nga nila, hindi naman binibilang yung nadadapa ka eh. Ang mahalaga yung pagbangon at may natutunan tayo. Pero hindi ko tinuturing to na delay lang tayo. Na-delay lang tayo.
You see
Malapit
this
na.
as a temporary setback?
Yes, definitely. Very temporary.
Thank you. Thank you everyone.
Okay?
This
Interior and the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Para sa Pilipinas. Walang fake news, walang sinasanto. Laban sa korap, laban sa abuso, para sa katotohanan. Pinoy Insight, boses ng Pilipino. Pino, Pino, Pino. Quality na, swak pa sa bulsa mo. Heavy duty, siguradong tatagal to. Kahit saan ka sa Pinas, andyan ako. Order ka lang, kami na bahala sa'yo.